as fire, and asks himself, what if there is a malicious godlike entity that is deceiving me about absolutely everything?
Everything.
Everything. What if the sky, the buildings, the earth numbers, shapes even my own hands? What if these are all just illusions planted in my mind by this demon?
Which is literally the plot of The Matrix.
It is the technological realization of that 17th century philosophical fear. The machines are the evil demon. Both scenarios suggest that human perception is surrounded by a perfect, seamless deception.
So if that's the case, if I can't trust my eyes or my ears, how do I break out? What's the anchor?
For Descartes, the anchor was the act of doubting itself. He realized that even if the demon is tricking him about the sky being blue, the demon cannot trick him into thinking that he isn't thinking.
Because the doubt is happening.
Right. If I am doubting, I must exist to do the doubting.
I doubt, therefore I am.
Essentially, yes. And look at Neo. His journey doesn't start with answers. It starts with that splinter in the mind.
He feels a wrongness.
Exactly. He stays up late on his computer searching for Morpheus because he intuits a glitch in the harmony of his world.
So doubt is the exit door. You have to break the immersion.
Doubt isn't a weakness here. It's the first step out of the cave. But then, just to make things even more complicated, the source layers on Immanuel Kant.
Of course. Because Descartes wasn't headache-inducing enough. What does Kant add to this mess?
Well, Descartes worries about who is showing us the world. Is it God or a demon? Kant worries about how we see it.
Yeah.
He made a distinction between the thing in itself, which is reality as it actually exists, and appearance, which is reality as we perceive it.
I've got to give me an analogy for that.
Imagine you are wearing a pair of sunglasses that are permanently welded to your face. You can never take them off. Everything you see, colors, shapes, light, is filtered through those lenses.
So I never see the real colors.
Right. You never see the world raw. You only see the world as the glasses allow you to see it.
So everything is processed.
Exactly. Now, the source asks a terrifying question based on the film. What if that lens is programmed?
Yeah.
What if the world as we see it is just a user interface, a UI hiding a deeper, messier code underneath?
That's really unsettling. It's like using a computer. I click the little trash can icon to delete a file, and I think the trash can is real.
Yes.
But the real reality is just zeros and ones on a magnetic disk somewhere. The trash can is just a metaphor to help me interact with the code.
Exactly. And if you saw the raw code, the actual magnetic fluctuations, you wouldn't be able to function at all. We need the interface. We need the illusion to navigate the reality.
This actually brings up a character that I think gets a bad rap, but the source material really digs into him, Cypher.
Ah, yes. The traitor.
Yeah.
The man with the stake.
Right. But let's look at his argument for a second. He's sitting there in that fancy restaurant with Agent Smith. He's cutting into this juicy, medium rare steak.
And he says, I know this steak doesn't exist.
Yes. He says, I know that when I put it in my mouth, the Matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious.
And then he delivers the absolute kicker. After 9 years, you know what I realize? Ignorance is bliss.
He actively chooses the flavor over the bleak reality of the ship. And honestly, can we blame him? He's sleeping in a cold bunk wearing rags, eating slop. He wants to go back to being a rich actor with a memory wipe.
It's a compelling argument. And the source connects this directly to Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche didn't just ask what is truth. He asked a much more provocative question. Can we handle the truth? Or even why do we desire truth at all?
That seems obvious, doesn't it? We want truth because, well, it's true. We want to know it's real.
Is it obvious, though? Nietzsche argues that humans might actually need illusions to survive. If the truth is that the universe is uncaring, chaotic, and meaningless, maybe the illusion of order is what keeps us sane. Cypher represents the will to illusion.
So he's not being tricked anymore. He's volunteering to be tricked.
He is choosing the illusion consciously because it offers stability and pleasure. The source suggests that humans naturally prioritize safety and familiarity over the harshness of reality.
It goes right back to the prisoners in the cave. They don't ask to be freed.
No, they are perfectly content. The illusion has become second nature. Cypher represents that part of us that would rather eat the fake steak than starve in the real world. It forces us to ask ourselves, do we actually value truth for its own sake? Or do we only value truth when it serves us?
That is super uncomfortable to answer because, if I'm honest, I really like steak.
Most of us do.
Yeah.
And that's the trip.
So we've talked about prisoners in a cave and people in pods, but the source makes a pivot here to our reality. We aren't in pods, I hope. But the notes bring up Jean Baudrillard and this concept of hyperreality.
Yes, Baudrillard is essential here. In fact, his book, Simulacra and Simulation, actually appears in the film. Neo uses a hollowed-out copy of it to hide his illegal discs.
Oh, that's a nice Easter egg.
But the concept is dead serious. Baudrillard talks about simulation not just as a computer program, but as a state where copies and images overwhelm the original reality.
Like when the map becomes more real than the territory it describes.
Exactly. When the distinction between the real and the artificial becomes impossible to see.
So the source asks, what are our caves? For you listening right now, if we aren't plugging cables into our heads, what's blinding us?
The source lists some incredibly powerful examples. Ideologies, media narratives, social habits, language itself.
These are our shadows on the wall.
Yes. Think about social media. You see a post of a friend's life, the perfect vacation, the perfect smile. That image is a simulation, but we react to it as if it is the reality. We consume the sign of the thing rather than the thing itself.
And the danger, as the source points out, isn't that these things exist, it's that we mistake them for the whole truth.
Correct. We think the narrative presented by the news is the event. We think the social expectation of success is human nature. We don't realize we're looking at a wall. We think we are looking at the horizon.
So if we accept that we are in some kind of cave, maybe a cave of algorithms or cultural biases, what do? The source brings up Jean-Paul Sartre and the idea of freedom. And again, warning to the listeners, it's not the fun kind of freedom.
Now, this is where it gets heavy. Sartre, the existentialist, viewed freedom not as a gift, but as a burden. He said, we are condemned to be free.
Condemned to be free, that sounds counterintuitive. We usually fight for freedom.
Think about Neo. Once he knows the truth, once he takes that red pill, he can never go back. He cannot claim ignorance anymore. If he sees an agent, he can't pretend it's just a guy in a suit.
Right, he can't unsee the light.
Exactly. And that knowledge transforms into obligation. In Plato's Allegory, the freed prisoner has a duty to go back down and warn the others, even if they mock him or try to kill him. In the Matrix, Neo realizes he is responsible not just for himself, but for the liberation of everyone else.
So knowing the truth means you have to actually do something about it. You can't just sit there and be awake on your own.
You are responsible for your choices and for the world you contribute to. That is the burden Sartre talks about. If you know the steak is fake and you know the system is enslaving people, simply eating the steak is no longer a neutral act. It's a choice. You become complicit.
That really strips away the fun of the sci-fi fantasy. It turns it into a moral calling. It's almost exhausting.
It completely shifts the story from a power fantasy to a story about the weight of awareness. Being awake isn't about floating and stopping bullets. It's about recognizing that you are constantly constructing your reality and you are responsible for what you construct.
So we've gone from Greek caves to French existentialism. It's been quite a journey. As we wrap this up, how do we synthesize this? Because we clearly aren't going to be dodging bullets anytime soon, but we are definitely dealing with simulations.
I think the source summarizes it beautifully. Both the Matrix and Plato teach us that reality is not a simple given. It's not just there waiting for us to passively consume it.
Perception is not innocent.
Correct. And the truth is not always comfortable. In fact, if an idea makes you feel totally safe, if it confirms everything you already believe and requires absolutely nothing of you, it's probably a shadow, not the light.
The source concludes with a thought that I really like. It says, we don't have a literal red pill we can swallow to fix everything. We can't just go to a pharmacy and ask for the truth.
No, but we have something quieter and deeper. We have the question.
The ability to doubt.
Yes. The source argues that every time we question a narrative or doubt a shadow or ask, is this really true? Or is this just what I've been told? We are taking a small step out of the cave.
It's a practice, not a one-time event. You don't just wake up once. You have to wake up every single day.
Exactly. And as the source reminds us, the light might hurt at first. It might be blinding. It might make you feel weak or confused, just like the prisoner. But a shadow, no matter how comfortable, no matter how delicious the steak tastes, is still just a shadow.
I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. Something building on all this that we haven't touched on yet. If our ideologies and our languages are the caves we live in, what happens when the very words we use to question our reality are given to us by the simulation itself?
Oh, that is a terrifying thought.
Right. What if the act of rebelling is just another programmed shadow on the wall designed to keep us feeling free while we stay safely chained? It's something to think about the next time you feel absolutely certain you found the truth. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Until next time, keep questioning the shadows.